Welcome back to Let's Read Joe Deaver's Lone Wolf HD Remastered. It's been a little while, my voice has been a little uncooperative and other things have been happening. But let's just jump right in. Also my fruitless efforts at trying to make sure that my voice doesn't pop. But in this headset it will occasionally do. I have no idea how to fix it. I'm trying to move my microphone a little bit lower. But, well, we'll find out. I'll just jump right into it. And remember that in the first video where I said, oh, please leave feedback so I make another one. Do leave the feedback if you wish to, so more people see it. But I'll just do these videos and, well, I'll just have to accept that if no one watches it or only one person watches it, then that is the way of the game. I just wish to read a little bit and perhaps help someone just relax a little bit on this with this video, really. So let's just jump right in. Last time we left off, we were trying to find the parts for an elevator so we may descend and take care of the Giak threat below. Leandra prepares for the mission. She gathers up some food and some tools and she puts them in her backpack. As she is fastening the flap, she says something which surprises you. When I saw you for the first time, I thought you were a grown man, but now you seem really young to me. Leandra shoulders her backpack, then she picks up a stiletto daggers and slips it inside her belt. There's an old tunnel in the cellar of this house, she says, and it runs all the way to the foundry. My father and I often use it to go there and buy the bronin and iron we need for our inventions. You can use it as well to reach the foundry without having to take your chances in the open. Or you can come with me and I'll show you where the sheriff's office is. The foundry on your own, or the sheriff's office with Leandra. The choice is yours. Now, this would of course be an interesting thing to stream, as you could choose in real time, but I believe last time I took on the foundry by myself. So how about we go to the sheriff's office with Leandra? Perhaps some more dialogue. Oh dear. Oh, never mind, it's a story event. Your crossbow is nearly empty, and when it is, all you'll have left is your wits and a dagger to use against the Giaks. No, I cannot let you that risk alone. I cannot let you that risk alone. You say with a forceful tone and weird grammar. Leandra started to protest, but you cut her off in the middle in her first sentence. We shall leave together, and that's the end of it. As soon as you can show me where the sheriff's office is, we shall split up. I will look for the Tarla, and you will go to the boiler house. Is that clear? Perfectly clear, she says with more than a trace of resentment. You draw your weapon and move to the door. Leandra stays by the window and scours the street for signs of Giaks. It looks deserted, she says. Very well, follow me and stay close, you reply. You pull open the front door and pause to make sure that Leandra is with you. She is standing in the doorway, her face frozen and expressionless. Then you hear noises that make your heart skip a beat. Giaks are emerging from the shadows of the neighboring houses, and they are fast closing in on all sides. Where's the sheriff? Where's the sheriff's office? You shout, demanding Leandra tell you before a fight ensues. She points along the main street, towards the end of the village at the cliff's edge. On the left, 100 yards or so. This is all she can say, but for the first of the Giaks come running at you with their weapon held ready to strike blows to your head and chest. Run! You shout, and Leandra is suddenly galvanized into action. She sprints away across the street as the Giaks surround you and press home their surprise attack. And once again, I shall cut away this, and I'll meet you once there's more reading to be done. And that's that. What have they dropped? A bunch of stuff. Take it all. You approach the door of the sheriff's office and take note of a painted shield that is fixed to the wall. It bears the distant emblem of Rockstar, 3 crossed sledgehammers on a white crossed field. Beneath a slate-roofed porch, the main door is held ajar by a booted foot. It belongs to the body of a dead man, lying at just his entrance. The stripes sewn onto the sleeves of his high-collared jacket tell you that this is Sheriff Tarla. He has been stabbed fatally in the back by a sharp Giak sword. You push open the door and step carefully inside the dead man's office. A search of his pockets reveals nothing. They have already been emptied. You sense that his personal items have been taken by the same Giak that took his life. You drag Tarla's body away from the entrance and push the door shut. The front room of his office is where the sheriff used to deal with daily matters of law and order in Rockstar. Now those days are sadly gone. The room is dominated by a large desk made of summer-lending oak, beautifully engraved with the provincial emblems and the personal crests of summer-lending heroes past and present. In a corner of the room, you see a large wooden chest with iron fittings, and at the back of the room, opposite the main door, there is a flight of broad stone steps that lead down to the gaol cells below. Or jail cells below? Jail cells below. This is where prisoners are held before trial. We're obviously going to pick the lock of that chest. I mean, come on. Loot and all that. I'll leave the Bethesda lockpicking game in here, because it is basically just that. As I've probably discussed before, I don't remember, it's been a little while. Approximately 2 months and something. Thank goodness. Click. You managed to open the chest. It seems that the sheriff had made provision to withstand an attack by sheltering inside his office. However, when he was compelled to organize resistance to the attack, it left the office with fatal consequences. Clearly, these supplies will be of no use to him any longer. An adjudicar. Nice. You won't be using it, though. Oh dear. We've run out of space in our inventory. Okay. We will skip all the hints, because I am not interested. I know all of it. Played this game more than enough. We shall eat some bread? How's our everything doing? No, we need something that restores our stamina. As you see, this is rather tedious, but it shouldn't take too long. I'm not using a crossbow at the moment, so let's just get rid of them. Whew. What else can we get rid of? I don't know why this is not equipped, but here we go. It is equipped now. Oh, it's because I didn't have any potions left. Okay. How much loot are we getting? This is the thing you'll do a lot before you have the capability of actually. This is a very tedious inventory management, which is probably a thing I should cut out. But as we are committed. So let's just remove these knives as well. I think I'll cut out the future ones. Mostly because there's no point. Common leather is not too expensive, so let's just get rid of that too. And then we should have enough for all 4 of these items. Wonderful. You descend the steps and arrive at a guard room, rough hewn from the granite bedrock. It is lit by an oily torch that radiates dull amber light. It is sparsely furnished with a table, 2 chairs, and a food cupboard. There are 2 cells adjoining the guard room. One of them is empty, but the other is occupied by a small man with a long beard and strong calloused hands. His name has been chalked on a board fixed to the door of his cell. Marok Gilad. Gilad has gone without food and water since the morning of the Giak attack. He has heard the screams and the sound of crackling fire in the night, and he is anxious to escape from his cell before the Giaks find him or he dies of thirst. Unlock the door, he demands. Release me from this cell. I want nothing to do with this village and its fine, upright, law-abiding inhabitants, and I certainly don't want anything to do with the Giaks. And what if I were to open the cell door and set you free? What would you do? Where would you go? The Giaks are everywhere. You would be better off staying where you are. I'd go back to the sunken forest. That's my home. Mine and my brother's. I've had more than enough of Rockstar. You reply, your voice tinged with regret. The Giaks launched their attacks upon Rockstar from the sunken forest. That timberland is rife with them. I pity the plight of your kinsfolk, but I fear it is too late for you to warn or save them now. You turn away from the cell door and Gilad shouts out, The key's over there! Unlock this damn door! He points towards an iron fitting that fixes the torch to the wall. It's hanging from the torch bracket. We have a choice to make. Now, we have the bloody. We we can actually gather more information. Why not? You want to know more about this prisoner before you decide his fate. Why have you been put in this cell, you ask. There must be some reason why you've been locked up. Is this not so? Gilad's throat is parched with thirst. He says he will tell you everything, but first you must have some water. He points to the large cupboard standing against the wall opposite his cell door. You pull open the cupboard door and find a pewter pitcher of water, an enameled iron cup, and half a loaf of stale bread. Answer me first and answer me truthfully. Then I shall decide if you deserve this bread and water. End your freedom. He tells you his name is Mero Gilad. His brothers are not blood related, they are a band of robbers, cast out of Toron 3 years ago for burglary and street crimes. They found refuge in the sunken forest, and have survived there since, living off the plentiful flora and fauna. Not too long ago, he and his fellow thieves, his brotherhood as he calls them, used the elevator to enter Rockstar. They had come looking to steal some Bronin arrowheads for hunting. Unfortunately, the sheriff and his Reeves caught them in the act. They ran back, desperate to escape, but the sheriff apprehended him before he could get away. His brothers were more fortunate. They made good their escape and returned to the lair of the sunken forest. The Reeves were killed during the chase, and he was blamed for their deaths. He tells you that he and his brothers are innocent. The Reeves were killed by Giax. You are mindful of the fact that if you leave him locked in a cell, it will be only a matter of time before the Giax find him, or he dies of thirst. If you release him, you will at least have a chance to survive. It may be a slim chance, but it is better than no chance at all. Now, personally, I would say leave him locked up. He committed a crime, and we will come back, and then we will exact justice. But the problem is that the thought of dying of thirst is just too cruel. It is too cruel. It is horribly harsh punishment. I do not remember if it's ever revealed if he actually killed them, but he has no real reason to lie, in my opinion. In my last playthrough, I opened the cell, so the Giax don't get him, and I'm tempted to do this, but I just feel that it's a horrible fate. It's a difficult. I must admit, this is a very difficult decision. You're letting free someone who clearly is a robber and is proud of it, and there will be some consequences to this for sure. Or you can uphold the law and basically be cruel and say that yeah, he deserves to die of thirst or Giac. Well, it's hard to decide, and I'm kind of curious what happens when I do this, but let's just go with the morally right choice, yeah? You walk over to the torch and unhook the key from its black iron bracket. Gilad looks relieved that you have decided to let him free. You twist the key in the lock, and the heavy door creaks open. Gilad rushes forward and shakes your hand in gratitude, but with such forceful enthusiasm that you have to push him away for fear he might break your wrist. He reaches into the pocket of his jacket, and for a moment you suspect he might have a concealed weapon, but quickly you sense that he harbors no ill intent. He simply wants to give you a token of his gratitude. It is a plain wooden ring, carved from some lending oak. Oh dear, we don't have space in our inventory, don't we? No, we do not. Hold on. Let's get rid of this. Yes. It is the mark of my brotherhood. It's not much, but it's all I have. You accept the ring from his calloused palm and step aside to let him leave this dingy cell. Gilad rushes through the open door and scrambles up the stone stairs. You bid him good luck as he disappears into the room above. Now I'll say right now, and this is of course a little bit of a spoiler, but it's not a big deal. Basically, someone will be very upset with you that you set him free, and later on the ring will allow you to do something special. It is, in my opinion, rather inconsequential. Never had any problems for letting him free, so let him free. That's what I did. I don't know what happens when you leave him locked up. That's up for you to find out. You return to the streets, saddened by the death of Sheriff Tarla and disappointed that you have not found the control handle. You fear that the Giax now possess this missing part. As you move along the street, you are lost in your thoughts of how difficult it will be to find the control handle. It could be anywhere in this well-lit village. Distracted, you fail to see a gang of Giaks approaching from a nearby alleyway. But of course. Oh look, there's more of them. Get him! They cry, and they come rushing towards you with their weapons drawn. Oh well. Guess I'll see you on the other side again. And another band of 3 Giaks taken care of. Oh boy. Ooh, we have a Kai pouch though. There you go, it fits all inside the Kai pouch, thank goodness. You have dispatched these Giaks, but the threat of attack and capture is as strong as ever. You hear the other Giaks approaching this part of the village, drawn by the noise of your combat. You go around for some place to hide, and your eye is caught by a small building with a bright red door and a sloping slate roof. Ding. We can rest here, but our stats are okay. Actually, never mind that. We have some bread we can munch. Well, we have plenty of space, my goodness. I want to eat this bread. So let's get the bread into our face. Wonderful. And onwards. The red door is closed, but it is not locked. You enter and quickly shut the door behind you. It is a simple village doctor's office, and it appears to not have been searched and despoiled like so many other buildings in this part of Rockstar. At the rear of the office, partitioned by a drawn white curtain, you find the surgery where a man is lying on a stretcher. His legs are wrapped with blood-soaked bandages, and he is barely conscious. Sweat glistens on his pale face. He sees you, and, falteringly, he tries to talk. You tell the man to rest. He has lost a lot of blood and his strength is waning, but he is determined to speak. He knows they may well be his last words he ever utters. My name is Grove. I'm a Rockstar miner. My legs were crushed by a runaway mine wagon. They brought me here. They bandaged me, and as when the Gears attacked, Dr. Paxton, I left to get help. I cannot walk, and he could not carry me, so here I am. You ask the man if he knows where the doctor went. He said he was going to the Broden warehouse. There were some people there that could help. He promised he could come back for me, but I have not seen him since. I fear the Geox must have got him. We could. You try to help Grove by using the medications in the surgery. That's a dexterity thing, and we do have quite a bit of that. We could also just go the easy route and just basically use our healing magic on him. Or you hide Grove from the Geox. It seems more urgent things to do. We are dexterity based though, so you know what? Obviously this is what I did in my previous playthrough. Just use magic on him. It'll be fine. Let's try to help him with the medications in the surgery. Grove's bandages are saturated with blood, and you can detect the faint and sickly smell of gangrene. Ooh! Carefully you unwind the sodden bandages and cast them aside. Both calf bones have been shattered and the flesh is torn open. You clean his wounds with the sterile water from the surgery store cupboard and dress them with lomspur leaves and fresh bandages. Your timely caring action may well save Grove's life. Soothed by the lomspur, his body relaxes and he falls into a deep sleep. There's little more you can do for him now. Reluctantly you leave Grove and return to the red door. You must complete your mission, and you are sorely aware that time is running out. You leave the doctor's surgery and continue along the street, but you have taken fewer than a dozen steps before you are confronted by a new threat. A solitary Giak is approaching the main street from a passageway next to the surgery. Its hateful eyes dart everywhere, searching out something to steal or someone to kill. This sharp-eyed Giak may have seen you leaving. It could tempt it to find out what lies beyond the red door. You cannot risk Grove's survival by allowing this watchful Giak to live a bit longer. I agree. So, I shall see you on the other side once again. Well, that was a lot quicker than I thought it would be. So I might have just left that in. So we might have had a moment of silence where I fight, which is basically what I do. I just am silent. And yeah, that's it. Oh, is this? Oh, more slots. Well, look at that. Now we go into the part of the game where we rarely will have to leave stuff behind. You hurry away and continue along the street, keeping to the shadows whenever you can. A sign on the wall that dictates the direction of the Bronin warehouse. Helped by the sign, you look along the street and see the warehouse in the middle distance. It is one of the largest two-story buildings in Rockstar and is easy to find, now that you know precisely where it is. Very well. And I believe we shall go to the Bronin storehouse in the next episode. I hope once again that I've managed to keep the slight popping sound to a minimum, but honestly, there's only so much I can do. If I move the microphone too low, then I'm too quiet and people can't hear me. If I move it too close to my mouth, then you can hear me breathing. So this is the middle spot. I hope it is not too distracting. But that is pretty much all I can do, apart from, buying myself a microphone stand with some sort of pop guard, and I'm afraid I do not have the resources for this. But apart from that, I hope you enjoyed the video, and we shall be reading more of Lone Wolf in the next episode. Thank you for watching.